yo. What it is, we bike. We biking this thing. Yes, sir. It's the most valuable podcast. I am your host with the most, coming straight from the West Coast. It's your boy, Cinco Bands, the man, trying to get 100 grand. You know I got the plan, and I can't do it without you. We back, baby. We back. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you just now joining the page. Welcome. Welcome. Today is going to be a good one, guys. If you're into your day, today is your day. We're diving deep, folks. Today, we're diving deep. So, we got a message that was sent to us, and I feel that this needs to be shared with the world. Because this was a message for us. We need to know. We need to know. We about to get to the bottom of it. You already know what it is. Clap it up for us. Clap it up for us. Yeah, we getting to the bottom of this, folks. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys. If you are interested in the extraterrestrial, this is for you. Today is for you. We want to know what they talking about. Let's find it out. Yes, Lord. Because if they drop down in the hood, we going to have to know what to do. You feel me? We going to need to know. Is they coming to kill us or is they ain't? They say a final warning from aliens. What do you mean a final warning? We finna get to the bottom of this, y'all. Let's do it. Without further ado, here we are. Let's go. This is a scientist, Stephen Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer, I'm sorry. I can't hear him. Y'all forgive me. We in the matrix right now. I'm trying to get this right. Something's going on. But without further ado, you guys know you rocking with the best, most valuable podcast. Best in the West. I am the man, Cinco Bands, the man, trying to get 100 grand. You know I got the plan. So, today is a special one, guys. Today is a special one. If this, it's like they don't want us to know. They don't want us to know, man. What's up? You don't want us to know? What's the deal? I'm gonna have to refresh this thing again, bro. Oh, this motherfucker wanna pop on as soon as I'm about to refresh it. Ain't that something? Isn't that something? They will not tolerate anymore. What the hell is that? Come on, bro. What the hell is going on, bro? My shit tweaking right now, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this. Y'all gonna suffer with me, gang. Hold on. Come on, white man, tell us the truth.
This will disturb you. You may not sleep tonight.
What?
These civilizations out in space are absolutely fed up with that. And let me be clear about this. Warning, and it is a threat. If we stay on that path much longer, the dangers to peaceful civilizations out in space and other trans-dimensional space-based civilizations is that it is untenable. So we're at a crisis and we have to fix it. And the way we're going to fix it is by 1992, because we had successfully invited, we don't summon and call or boss ETs around. It's a diplomatic invitation. So let's get our linguistics down here. If you summon someone, you're at Downton Abbey, being the Earl of whatever, summoning the butler to bring you tea, right? We're not summoning ETs that way. We don't call them and they come at our beck and call. That is undiplomatic, it's demeaning, it's disrespectful, and it's the opposite of what we're doing with C5 contact. That is not the consciousness behind it. The consciousness behind it is an invitation to make contact for peaceful relationship building between species, humans, and intelligence. It is not acquisitive. It's not to shoot them out of the sky with an electromagnetic pulse weapon, grab their technology, capture the living beings and put them under bases, or kill them. That operation is 180 degrees diametrically opposite of what CE5 contact teams are doing. I want to make this crystal clear, and I will say it 3 more times during the podcast. It couldn't be more different.
Whoa, so are they saying we've been taking their technology, re-engineering it, reverse engineering it, using it against them to knock them out the sky, and we capturing their people and taking them and putting them underground? And whoa, shit. Is this real, bro? Is this real? I want to know. I'm interested.
And so people with their sort of superficial understanding of this can easily conflate those two, right? Couldn't be more different. They are absolutely not related. In fact, they are at complete opposite ends of what we should be looking at. So the one is an act of kinetic, militaristic, invasive, using psionics, violence surveillance, targeting of a craft, hijacking their control system. We'll get to this in a minute. I understand how it works. Moving them into 3D and into range, hitting them with a weapon, bringing them down, preferably in one piece, so they can be studied and reverse engineered. And sometimes the NHI people are killed. Sometimes they're caught living. Some form that's actually an operational being. And both ET civilizations have them for security purposes, but so do covert programs, by the way. And those are the guys, those creatures are the ones doing the abductions, the man-made drones or robots, but they're very sophisticated. I mean, some are clumsy robotic and some are very biological. I've talked about this since the 90s. Now, the actual ET beings that often...
Wait. Can't just let you pass that sentence up, white man, like that. I'm sorry, Dr. Greer. I can't let you just pass that up like that, Dr. Greer. Listen. So you telling me, Dr. Greer, you telling me, hold on, man. Let me hear this shit one more time. Hold on, man. I got to hear this one more time.
Both ET civilizations have them for security purposes, but so do covert programs, by the way. And those are the guys, those creatures are the ones doing the abductions, the man-made drones or robots, but they're...
Okay, that's what I... So, the people that have been saying they have been abducted have telling the truth. So they're abducting people. This guy, Dr. Greer, is saying our government or some section of our government that's doing these studies have actually utilized them, put them in the air, and abducted actual human beings. So they reenacted an abduction, making it look like this is really happening. And it's really happening, but like making you real think this is ETs doing this. And I mean, from what he's saying, it's actually ETs doing it, but this man-made ETs. It's not a natural ET. It's a man-made ET. So this is real wild and wicked and deep, man.
Very sophisticated. I mean, some are kind of clumsy robotic and some are very biological. I've talked about this since the 90s. Now, the actual ET beings that often are on these craft, they often do get killed or they get captured. And I've been told by many of these special forces guys who've been in these bases that there's a number of them still in captivity, which they euphemistically call, I like the wordage they use, to sort of whitewash what's going on.
Wait. I can't let you pass that up. He's saying we still have them hostage. We still got aliens in jail. We got a jail for the aliens. That what you saying?
Refugees. Well, they're not refugees. They've been captured and they're prisoners of these aggressive military and corporate programs. So those need to be liberated. And we're working on that through a group of special forces guys, which I can talk a little bit about. Now, the CE5 contact is not geared towards any self-aggrandizing purpose. It's not to give you entertainment because you saw a UFO. It's not to get their technology so we can reverse engineer it and then beat the shit out of the ETs with it, which is what the military and corporate programs have done for 70 years. It's to make peaceful contact and develop a deep relationship between humanity.
70 years. I'm only in my 30s. 70 years? They've been doing this for 70 years? My mother is only in her late 60s, mid 60s to late 60s. I'll say that. She's not even 70. So this shit was happening before my mom even busted a nut to have. She didn't bust a nut, but my pops even busted a nut to have me? Are you serious? Wow. Bruh. This guy works for him. He's saying they've been hiding this shit for 70 years. If you've been hiding this shit for 70 years, if you had access to this shit for 70 years, how far have you gotten? How advanced is it? How advanced is it? You guys slowly trying to penny pinchers, but you guys are way advanced if you've been doing this shit for 70 years. 70 years? Come on, man. Y'all let me know in the comments.
Our species and their civilizations, plural, of which many, for going forward in a time of not just world peace, but universal peace. That's why our motto is one universe, one people. And the foundation of universal peace is not shooting each other out of the sky so we can be the big monkey and figure out their technology. That's not it. It's to create a future where we do have the technologies. We already have them. We don't have to keep shooting them down. That would run the planet with 0 point energy and free energy and no pollution. And in a general...
That total recall shit. Hey, listen. We are the most valuable podcast on this shit, man. In this internet streets. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You already know what it is. Show your boy some love. But listen, they on that total recall shit, man. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. Go and look that movie up. It's called Total Recall. Total Recall. Go look up that movie. They want us like that. That's how they want us. We were in that movie. They were interacting as one, living in a world with just as one. It was aliens, humans. It was all kind of shit. Go look up that movie, Total Recall. That's what they want.
Generation will eliminate all the suffering and poverty on the planet. Create huge new advances in medical healing systems, all kinds of positive things. And the ETs want that. But we don't have to kill them. We have to capture them. They're aircraft. They're NHI craft. And we most certainly don't have to hit them with weapons to bring them down. This is not the way to do this.
Do you guys know if they unleash I understand why they won't. If they unleash this new technology, it can unleash free energy. He said it could cure poverty. They don't want that. They make a lot of money. They cuff a lot of money off of poverty. They make a lot of money off of energy. It's a lot of things that they're banking off of that if they advance us, they won't bank off of it anymore. Go ahead, Dr. Greer. I'm sorry I interrupted you, man. I'm going to stop doing that. Every time I interrupt you, you go in the matrix. Go ahead.
Absolutely not. It's immoral. It's dangerous. Now, let me pivot for just one moment. This will disturb you. You may not sleep tonight. And I've known this for some time. But in the last 2 years, I've had 3 separate people who have been in comm centers, communication centers, at classified basis, that have told me there has been intercepted communications from NHI, that they're just about fed up with that nonsense of us targeting them, damaging them, captivating their people, and doing this in a kinetic, meaning violent. Kinetic is another euphemism in the military. Just kinetic is just, casualties and destruction, violence manner. And then the problem is, because we have these advanced technologies that are psionic and technological, our craft, the ones that we have that are man-made, have pretty much reached almost an indistinguishable level with the NHI craft or ET craft. But by using this technology in an aggressive military and corporate way to simply get more and more of their stuff, their goodies, their technology, which is what all the billionaires want, right? Because they only think one way. How do I become a trillionaire if I'm a billionaire? That's all they care about, right? These civilizations out in space are absolutely fed up with that. And let me be clear about this. This is a warning and it is a threat. If we stay on that path,
civilizations in space. He said there are civilizations out there.
To start your own business? Well, look no further than...
He said out his own mouth, there are civilizations out there in the universe, not on Earth. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You're only going to get this at the Most Valuable Podcast, man. We dive deep. We get to the bottom of it. Let's go.
Business and location, then...
we stay on that path much longer, the dangers to peaceful civilizations out in space and transdimensional space-based civilizations is that it is untenable. So we're at a crisis and we have to fix it. And the way we're going to fix it is to stand down completely those aggressive weapon systems. Now, one of the executive orders that I have recommended to the incoming president and the Congress is immediate cessation of the use of those systems that target, bring down these craft through a forced effort as opposed to peaceful contact. So we need to take that sword and all those tools they have, turn it into this plowshare of open, peaceful contact without the ulterior, selfish motive of let's and reverse engineer more of their tech. We've already done that. It's been done for 70, 80 years. We don't need to recreate the wheel. We need to disclose the technologies that already are existing, that are to be used peacefully, not the things that fly, but the energy generation. We don't need to go from one legacy program to something that would be equally misguided and would be using technologies that are psi-related aggressively or in a way that is forced. There should be no more forced takeover of the craft. There should be no more striking of them with any type of electromagnetic weapon. So that needs to be done by an executive order and a law passed through Congress, and then it has to be enforced. The way it's going to be enforced are the special forces guys who separated from the military are now ready to work under a law enforcement team in the United States, and there's another team being stood up that could operate overseas. So I'm involved with briefing them, and I'm involved in trying to get them up to speed, but they can't act. My friends, listen, we live purportedly in a democracy. They can't act unless the president and the Congress acts. And because then they would be unconstitutional and rogue, right? So, which they don't want to be. They want to operate under the rule of law and the rule of the Constitution. So we need to write our leaders and explain, please pass the executive orders that Dr. Greer has provided in the presidential briefing document and the briefing document for Congress. Soon, we're going to publish that entire document, except with certain redactions for sensitive reasons, that everyone listening and everyone in the world can read. And it will be a page turner. It's 310 or 20 pages, something like that.
Dr. Greer, I have a really important question for you.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you there's people listening to this right now who are hearing you say, the ETs have drawn a red line in the sand, and if this goes much further, they're not going to put up with it, and they're going to come here and they're going to intervene. And the people hearing this is fantastic. Finally, that's exactly what we want. That's what we've been waiting for. So we don't have to do anything. The ETs are going to come and solve it for us. So could you please explain why we really do not want this to happen?
Hell no.
Yeah, that intervention externally by NHI is the worst case scenario, the very worst, because there are already predispositions in human nature to believe that would be a violent invasion, alien invasion. Go look at War of the Worlds. Go look at Independence Day. Those movies were, basically showing what a sort of more frontal force disclosure by the ETs would be interpreted as. But beyond that, the whole media, to mention the UFO war.
Go watch that movie, Total Recall. It's gonna show you. Go watch it.
World has already been predisposed to believe that, because beginning in the late 50s and early 60s, once we mastered gravity control and had our own ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles, reverse engineered man-made craft, and we started doing the stagecraft, as it's called, of mutilations and abductions, blowing up villages in Africa and South America, everything that we've disclosed about this, it has caused the human consciousness to be predisposed towards the ETs being a malevolent force coming to invade us. Now, these special forces guys coming forward are saying, no, they're absolutely not. The experiences they've had is the most beautiful. The real ET experiences are indescribably beautiful in consciousness and in heart. The problem is the general public has already been brainwashed, because these psychological warfare operations, known as PSYOPs, that were launched in the 50s, are now, 65 plus years in the making. So they've had 2/3 of a century to embed in the subconsciousness of humanity that an alien present is a priori malevolent or demonic or something horrible, and they're coming to invade us. So that's all disinformation. But humans have a proclivity to believe it. Why? Because that's what we do to each other. That's what the Holocaust was. My grandmother was Cherokee. Look at the Trail of Tears. Talk about a Holocaust. This man's inhumanity to man. We are already conditioned that one more powerful group interfacing with a less technologically advanced group is going to dominate them and destroy them. This has been our human collective conscious experience for thousands of years. So we're both innately predisposed to this, but on top of that, they have staged all these horrible, frightening events, which everyone from the president on down think are actually NHI. Right. Most of the special forces guys, remember, all these special forces guys have worked in extremely narrow, compartmented operations as tactical operators or whatever they were. They don't know what's going on in all these other compartments. This is the disclosure mosaic we have to put together, that I'm trying to do, so that there is some context to understand why the decisions are that we have to fix this problem ourselves. The worst case scenario is that the NHI craft and ETs fix it, because no matter how benign their intentions, it will be misinterpreted by and misportrayed by the corrupt corporate media, governments, and the secret organizations that are criminal. That this has been their long-term plan. And Werner von Braun in his deathbed said, the big plan that's going to happen, this 50 years ago in 1974, it said to Carol Rosin, is that the big long-term plan is to present a threat from outer space as alien, so we can unite the world around this totalitarian, militaristic superstate. That they've spent trillions of dollars preparing people for, and we have to say no to that. So there has to be this mass human awakening to the truth about the issue, as opposed to the false narrative. The big risk of disclosure at all, and I've known this for a long time, is that the minority opinion is going to be what I just said. The majority are already brainwashed to believe the worst. And this you see in comments from members of Congress. You see this from people who are very close to the incoming administration. People like Tucker Carlson, who says, "Oh, these are demons." I was recently on a podcast for Charlie Kirk, who's a person, very religious person at Turning Point USA. And I was asked that question. And I said, let me quote Monsignor Balducci from the for Pope John Paul when I was at his at the Vatican with him. And he said, neither angels nor demons need flying saucers.
That's right.
Right? So people, because they, all this different phenomena, plural, extra dimensional, other dimensions, NHET, it all gets mixed together. But the CIA and other people who are players in this want that confusion. And in that confusion, they can drive their narrative. So, and that narrative leads to what? World War III. It leads to an interplanetary conflict. And that is an extinction level event by any measure. When you're not talking about nuclear weapons, we're talking about our species trying to fight another.
Well, isn't that what would happen if the ETs were to be provoked into an intervention? It's not like the people running these programs who are sitting on technology that has reached parity with the ETs. It's not like they wouldn't put up a fight, right? So we would be talking about a massive battle.
This war between Israel and Iran isn't just prophecy. It's the spark. And if you live in any of these U.S. regions, you need to...
If these ETs are so smart and they know we doing this and all of this stuff, right? When they come, are they smart enough to know the difference between a regular person and one of these people who's doing these, who's causing this issue? Like, or they just see a person as a person and we got to take them out? How do they view it is what I want to know. Like, shit is wild, bro. I used to see all the alien movies and shit. I never used to think that that shit was real. But then I started getting into science. Once I started getting into science, shit opened up a whole nother lane.
They would instantly all these systems could be shut down. People have no idea what those capabilities are. It's, you know, people look at too much science fiction. This is not Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. That, you know, leave that in Hollywood, all right, in someone's basement, where they fabricate all this nonsense. If you understand a little bit about those capabilities, it'd be point, set, match in a fraction of a second. So that's not going to happen that way. What's more likely, however, is that we would then trigger our own man-made craft and creatures that are man-made to engage in all kinds of violent activity. And this they're planning to do anyway. See, this is the other problem. The long-term plan has been to take all these fleets of man-made UFOs.
So they got man-made.
So it goes trillions of dollars. And Lockheed Skunk Works and Northrop Grumman and Raytheon and SAIC and Booz Allen Hamilton and EG&G, all these big corporate contractors for these covert NHI retrieval operations. Over the 80 years, they've had massive breakthroughs beyond what you. And so that's why one of our whistleblowers, and when I was doing the briefings for Congress in 1997, he was taken out of the hotel the night before the congressional meetings and taken to a secure location, quote unquote, out in Virginia. And but before that, he had met with us and said he had been on an interagency committee where they could hit a button. This 74, he was on this committee 50 years ago. We can hit a button, he said, and all of a sudden the skies are going to fill up with man-made ET craft, UFOs. No one's going to know where they are, and they can engage and start doing violent activities, and it will fool everyone in the U.S. government around the world, never mind the press and the media. That's why they started right before all this, right before the new administration, they started doing all this crazy drone stuff. They're sort of giving a little warning. We can start launching all kinds of stuff. And that was nothing. That was just, buffoonery by comparison. So we know what their capabilities are. I do, for a fact. I've seen them. So that's the real danger, which is why, let's pivot back to a point I made a moment ago. It's very important that the current administration, now that they've just come into office on Monday, and the new Congress, move quickly to issue directives to get those sort of capabilities that are human under proper control. Because if they're not, they can launch that false flag off Project Blue Beam. That's not a term I've heard from any legitimate operative, by the way.
Is there a name to it that you do know of?
No.
Okay.
No. Excuse me. So, but look, if I have that information, when I have it, I share it. If you dredge this stuff off the internet, I ignore it. Remember, I have 765 whistleblowers I've dealt with over the years that I've debriefed and gotten information from. First-hand people, like the guys just coming forward. And by the way, what they're sharing about, people forget, in 2001, we did the National Press Club, and we had people there who were on the retrieval teams in the 60s doing precisely what these guys are talking about having done in the 2000s. It's the same thing. So, the only difference is that group possesses, but are not yet releasing, a tranche of dispositive evidence that are located in secure sites. I don't have them. I thought I'd be killed. They're very sweet. They honestly feel that if I possessed that, I'd be dead. So, and I appreciate that. I mean, people, there's a real sweetness among some of them. I mean, they've been very hardened guys. A lot of them have PTSD and other things from their careers, but they're actually incredibly sweet to me, and they've been very kind in many ways. So, and I appreciate that. I'm not trying to blow off the risk of that, because look, I mean, they do have wet work assassination teams. They go after people that have something that's too hot. And what I was told by those guys, we don't want you to hold this hot potato. It's too dangerous.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the next one right here on the Best of Dr. Stephen Greer.
That's some crazy shit. Hey, do y'all believe that? This man said he didn't briefed and talked to a whole crew of people that be working with the aliens that said they're nice. He said he's had over 700 whistleblowers over the years that he's talked to. This is crazy, man. What is the government not telling us, man? But you rocking with the best in the West, the best on the internet. This is the most valuable podcast. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves. Yes. I'm your man, Cinco Benz the man. You already know I got the plan, and I can't do it without you. But look, we ain't gonna end it. This one here, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna see what else is in these YouTube streets. If they get us out the matrix. Now's the time to hit that subscribe. Now's the time to hit that bell notification so you get all notifications when we go live. You can get all this fire hot content right there on your laptop. It won't cost you nothing. Just click the button. Yes, sir. Where we at? They still ain't let us out the matrix. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at with it? Say where we at? Where we at? Where we at with it? Say where we at? Where we at? Where we at with it? Say what they say. Where we at? Say what they say. Where we at? I really don't appreciate this. I really, truly don't. YouTube, I'm really not appreciating this. Twitch, you see how they do us over here? I'm not appreciating this, man. They got me in the matrix way too long. You know what I'm saying? They got me in the matrix way too long, man. What's going on? Okay. I know what I got to do. Uh-huh. I know what I got to do. We're going to refresh that thing. Come on, get us out of the internet space. We back in the motherfucking matrix. What's going on with this John? All right, we finally coming out this motherfucking matrix, man. Shit is wild, dog. What act on? Okay. Man, if you don't get this shit off my screen, bro. Y'all see right now this shit tweaking. Y'all see it with your own eyes. What is this dude still doing on the screen? Talking and shit. We appreciate you for everything, Doc. Get up out of here. Trap the Ross. He wanted me to cover a murder up for him. And Hefe don't care nothing about what the checks say. Brick Baby calls into no jumper from the feds and starts self-snitching. No, he did not. No, he did not.
The feds have came to his house to ask about Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and Big U. Now, this is what he said on a story.
For being fresh, if the Fed's watching, I made it 41 years into this life before I had involvement, conversation with federal agents. And when they showed up, I was wearing a red Nike Tech. Not exactly the definition of fresh, but I got a crazy update. I'm going to do the Good Diligent podcaster thing, and I'm going to save it for tomorrow at 4 p.m. with Lush and some surprise guests. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. The 22ster has got a big update. Tap inwardly. So much for being fresh.
Okay, he said the feds came knocking on my door today. We'll be filling y'all in on what they wanted from me at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Adam, I'll spare the people. I'm sure they'll watch anyway, but I'll tell you exactly what happened. And I don't expect you to tell the whole truth tomorrow, so I'll tell people what happened. They showed up at Adam's crib, and by the way, didn't I tell y'all? The feds value no jumper. It's a reason they're not kicking down the doors at no jumper. Because they could kick down the doors, seize CCTV footage, especially if the people who are in their RICO have been in that building. But what they don't want to do is spook no jumper. Why? No jumper is a place that's, not saying Adam is doing this cognizantly, but gang members are going there to confess. So they're not going to kick down the doors of a place that's helping them. This is what they did. Guaranteed. I haven't even talked to Adam. Guaranteed. And Adam's going to listen to me say this. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. And I guarantee he doesn't say the full story on YouTube. By the way, just remember, y'all boys on the West Coast new to that RICO game. I caught a few that had some RICOs, so I know exactly how it goes. Don't ask me how. Them feds showed up to Adam's crib. Remember, they have respect. They don't want to kick down the no jumper doors because no jumper would probably be spooked. As an entire organization, Adam himself, a lot of shit would be happening. They showed up to Adam, and they probably said to Adam, here's the deal, brother. these people who you've had on your platform, one you've employed, they're the suspects in our RICO case. We believe you might have surveillance footage. We believe they might have texted you certain shit, said certain things to you, or we have maybe you talking to them while we had their phones tapped. They don't want to arrest Adam. What they're gonna try to tell Adam is, y'all have deleted some episodes. Y'all have whatever. We need those, because now they're already locked up people. They're planning for the case. They're planning for the trial. What Adam's gonna do, I guarantee you now, he's gonna call a lawyer. And what's gonna happen? They're gonna do a proffer. Of course, they're gonna say, Adam, we don't want you, but we want your surveillance footage. Or else, and they do have an or else, and this is us. If they knocked on your door, and you could make a Instagram video about it, it's because the or else is going to be, oh, we're going to issue a grand jury subpoena, and now you got to go sit there in this proceeding that's happening now. They're jurying Big U and them niggas now. The grand jury indictment's coming soon. They're going to say to Adam, really? Unless you want us to subpoena you for that, and you got to go testify in a secret court proceeding where you are going to be under oath, anyway. Or you could just give us your footage. Give us these videos. Give us these conversations. And if you ask me, I'll see how Adam plays it. But like, this is cap. Like, they ain't asking Adam no questions. They already know everything. They're trying to get proof of things. Give us video. Give us audio. Do you have surveillance? Do you have this? Yo, you were mentioned while we are combing through or we're listening on the wiretap. They said this shit happened in front of Adam. Could you sign an affidavit to this? The other option is they're gonna bring you in front of a grand jury. Now, here's the reason why Adam is gonna want to cooperate. And by the way, this is not telling. For everybody to know. It's not telling. When the feds do a light knock on your door and talk to you and whatever, yeah, you can go get a lawyer or whatever. But you know what they tell you? If you play hardball with them, they're going to subpoena you to the grand jury. And you better make sure everything going on up in No Jumper is proper. Because now they don't like playing with somebody who's thinking they're being an asshole to them. So yeah, in reality, I'm pretty sure whatever they want from Adam will go give up. Yo, give us surveillance footage. Here, take it. Hey, give us this. Here, take it. Now, I told you this was going to happen. It's like the feds was watching this whole situation. And there's two reasons I believe.
Feds watching.
There are two reasons I believe they actually arrested Big U and everyone else at that time. I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, Wack went online and started to yap about Big U getting arrested. You know what's starting to happen? Big U stopped going home. Bro, my best friend 6ix9ine, he told me, bro, 6ix9ine told me a month before he got arrested, actually months before, the act. There's cars all down the fucking, bro. If you think the feds just like randomly said we're gonna go pick these guys up and no surveillance, you're out of your fucking mind. The reason why they locked up Big U, they lost track of him. Clear. My nigga, 6ix9ine said he knew the feds was on him when he walked outside, and there would be regular cars on the block because 6ix9ine lived on like Locust. It wasn't Locust Street at that time. He lived at this new spot in Brooklyn, but it was like still kind of middle of the hood where like regular people are. Bro, there would be regular cars there. He said there was a time he would come outside, and when he looked outside, it was all white vans, no regular cars. What do you think was out there? Did you think that it was just chilling? What do you think was going on there, bro? They're surveilling you, bro. They're watching who's coming in. They're trying to listen to conversations. They're doing the most. If you don't think that was happening at No Jumper, you're retarded. So this whole thing where, like, it's very telling. If they dropped the arrest warrant and went for the sweep and they couldn't get the head guy, most likely is because they thought the head guy was in the wins, so they're saying, fuck it. So I think Wack alerting Big U stopped coming home. If they hit Big U's home at the break of dawn, why wasn't Big U at his home? Because Big U stopped going home. Probably started staying at hotels, other people's places, moving around. You get what I'm saying? They probably search a house, detain his family. They gotta let the family go. They don't got no arrest warrant for them. So I guarantee that's what it is. Trust me. And also here's the thing too. If they're going to No Jumper, remember Loose and Brick was at No Jumper the day before they got arrested. I guarantee you the feds were surveilling No Jumper too. But remember, I
Gotta stay
they're
away
not
from
gonna
No
hit
Jumper,
No
y'all.
Jumper. Like if the hit my podcast studio for a nigga I fuck with, bro, I'm not doing no type of, like, if they hit, well, Adam's kind of a dummy in that sense because Adam seems to like really love this shit. If the feds hit up your spot about your content, I would imagine your content would change from now on. Like, all right, bro, it's a reason why record labels, as soon as a nigga get a RICO, no more music come out. Because they don't want the feds kicking down their doors. Now, I don't think they want to spook Adam. They don't want to raid his spot. Because he might just stop doing interviews with gang members about crimes, which they like. So, the first thing is the Wack thing alerting people.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe. What y'all think?
When you need mobile coverage,
Y'all think Adam gonna give it up? Adam gonna give it up, y'all? He gonna give it all up.
Right? That's why I believe the timing happened as is. Number two is this other reason. If you go back to No Jumper, and again, a lot of this, if you're saying, act how you know this, or you guessing, my nigga, I know the ins and outs of the 6ix9ine case, bro. That's a RICO too. Other than Wack saying shit to make Big U start to be in the wins and start to switch up his routine, that them surveilling him became harder, and they're like, he might run. So they're like, we gotta catch him before he nigga dips to Mexico or some shit. Cause Wack was saying, yo, you gotta go. Like Wack was saying this online. The other thing, I personally believe, okay, let me keep scrolling down. The other thing, I believe, why they did that at that time was...
What had to happen in order for you guys to be...
Chat. When Brick Baby and Loose Cannon, two of the targets of the RICO, supposedly squashed their beef and met face to face on a podcast, it signaled to the feds, oh, fuck. Because here's the thing, the feds will sit back and wait for one of y'all to shoot at each other. It adds more to the RICO case. When y'all are beefing, they're not coming then. When y'all are squashing beef, okay, it's over. Let's go get it now. When y'all are beefing, we don't care. Now, granted, they do have a duty. If someone says on a wiretap, I'm killing that nigga tomorrow, they gotta jump in. Like, for example, they pulled 6ix9ine in before he got locked up because they heard on a wiretap that he was gonna get super violent. They took that to be him getting shot and killed. So, have to warn, like, they can't sit back and say, all right, let's wait till he's dead. They can't do that. So they pulled 6ix9ine in and they said, do you want to cooperate? 6ix9ine, they weren't that he was going to be charged at that point. It's a house of cards at this point. They said they want to hurt you. We can protect you. 6ix9ine turned down the protection and he went to the Breakfast Club and wilded out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys knew that. The feds pulled in 6ix9ine before he went to the Breakfast Club the last time. From the feds pulling him in, he thought he could avoid the RICO by disavowing them. Man, I'm by myself, man. I don't fuck with nobody, man. I fired everybody. No. Too late. But that's after the feds pulled him in because they had to tell him they're going to try to kill him. Then what happened after the Breakfast Club thing, he tries to go to Connecticut to a casino with his bitch. And somehow they found out, like Shotty and them, and they were supposed to try to super violate in there. And because they knew they were making an attempt on his life, they said, gig is up. Let's get everybody off the street, okay? I believe not only whack making Big U start to be elusive, made them want to do the arrest warrants, it's because they were waiting on this internet drama where they thought there was going to be something violent that happened that they could add to the charge. Brick shoots at Loose. Loose shoots at Brick. Them having a fight over some 6-0 Big U shit. When they show up on a podcast and squash it, the feds are like, oh, fuck, ain't nothing more about to happen. Let's just arrest these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, if you ask me, all they want from Adam is cooperation. Now, this is going to be very important. And I'm going to call WAC 100. Because this is going to be very important. Is it snitching because I'm telling you what's going to happen. Yo, we need all payroll data from you to Brick.
He's a civilian.
Because we're trying to make sure we know how much is in the bank account. We've seen every deposit.
He's supposed
we want to see if he was depositing money that came from other shit that could have been some Big U shit, extortion money, versus his paycheck. Are you down to give us that? Is it snitching if Adam does that?
Confused.
And by the way, again, with all due respect, I don't expect Adam to come on here and tell you the truth. Let me tell you this. Also, this is how I know Adam loves content. Yo, Adam, if the feds knocked on your door, you shouldn't be saying, I'm going to talk about it on a podcast. Yo, Adam, you a white man, bro. Get a fucking lawyer. Now, I guarantee he got a lawyer, but he's still going to do the content part of it. But if the Fed, even if they're nice to you, hey, Adam, we love you. You're not in trouble. We just want to see da-da-da from this shit that was at your workplace with Brick and Loose. We love you, Adam. We watch No Jumper. You gotta get a lawyer. You have to. It's the feds. Again, you piss them off, they come back at you for taxes. You piss them off, they come back at you for workplace violations. They aren't the people who like to take no's. It's the truth. Zeus, thank you for the 20. Says, now act, let's use common sense. Wack openly said he used to be down with Big U for 17 years. What's the odds that the feds bet with Wack? What? Or be with Wack? Especially that they went to Adam's house, who barely know anything. I'll say this too. That's why I ain't gonna lie. The amount of content being done on this, it's kind of surreal for the people involved, because they're acting like jail cell is not real. They're acting like Luce isn't in a federal penitentiary or a federal jail. Like Big U isn't locked up, like Brick isn't locked up. And that you aren't one step removed, even if you did no crime. Even if you did no crime. There is legal liability all over the place. My nigga. Like, if I'm Wack 100, I get a lawyer too. It's not that you did anything. It's because they could always harass you and bring you in front of a grand jury to testify. You know how Wack says on Clubhouse? Yo, if you testify, you snitching. So you know how they can fuck you over? They issue you a grand jury subpoena that they can get somebody to leak that you had to they can force you to testify. Or you want to go sit in jail? No. Especially if you didn't think you did nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying? God's Cologne thing was 20 said, this is off topic, but act. I need a Mo 3 tribute stream intro. You're right. You're right. We do. I did like a song last time. We got to do a little bit more. Thank you for that. Let me call Wack. I think we got to call Wack. Now, here's the thing. If the feds haven't talked to Wack, if I'm Wack, I'm nervous. Let me say again. If the feds have contacted Wack, if I'm Wack, I'd be nervous. I'll tell you why. Wack is listed in the indictment as a target of many violent threats, of supposedly a purported violent action or an attempted jump-in. People wanted to do harm to Wack, but he's not called a victim. He's actually called a rival. If the feds don't try to interview you, even if you're just saying you're the big pot rule, you won't say nothing. If they don't even hit you up to say, bruh, is there any other time that Big U and Brick Baby have ever tried to do something to that we could add to the indictment? If they don't do that, it means you're a subject of another investigation. Maybe not the development, but another investigation. We're going to call Wack 100 right now. Let's see what's going on. If Wack don't answer, you did. Wack!
What up, bro?
Man, Adam said the feds done knocked on his house door, man. What is going on?
I mean, I don't know. I ain't talked to him, but shit. They ain't kicked the door down and knock his eye.
You're right. Very, very much right.
They probably just coming down there to
They ain't kicked the door.
Try to confirm some of the content if it's fiction or non-fiction. What's that?
Now I believe that part. They ain't trying to confirm shit. They want videos. They want videos. They want proof. They want things that he has on a DVR, on his YouTube account, or bro, they're not coming to be like, hey, you tell us if it's nah. They ain't trying to. If they wanted to talk to Adam, they would have been talking to him. They're not gonna talk to him. What the fuck? They're coming right now. They know. They want evidence. You think they're gonna wait till they lock the niggas up and be like, yo, was that true? No, they got it already. It's the feds. The fucking feds. Well, until Wack get back on, because I gotta ask him if the feds hollered at him. That's going to be important. Chat, I promise you. I promise you. Chat, just put it like this. How do you think I knew I was on mad wiretap conversations with 6ix9ine or Shotty or his driver? With who his driver was telling me. How do you think I know? Bro, it's the feds, bro. It's the fucking feds, I'm telling you. Like, it's no way they're mentioning all these names and they're not talking to people. No way. No way. No fucking way, bro. Somebody may have knocked on the white door now. Chat, I'm not milking a subject. This is, bruh. Bro, let me tell you this. About 3 or 4 months before 6ix9ine got locked up, I remember 6ix9ine was in Dubai, and he had fired his driver. And the driver called me. By the way, his driver was cooperating already. And he was like, yeah, Danny fired me, and blah, 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 da, da, da. And I was like, why would he do that? He's like, no, he's been acting weird, da, da, da. I think maybe it's because, like, something with Sarah. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, damn, this guy always been good. Every time I show up to events, 6ix9ine, Danny, would send his driver to come get me at the front. By the way, I don't know if this guy's cooperating. He talks to me, because 6ix9ine blocks him. He can't talk to 6ix9ine. To the point, he talks to me in so sympathetic crying. He says, to the point I say, bro, yo, 6 is bugging. I'm going to call 6ix9ine, and I'm going to talk, because 6 kind of looked at me like a big brother at that point. I'm like, I'm going to kind of, ream him out, pause. And I'm going to get you your job back. That's what my thought was. Brother, when I called 6ix9ine, who was in Dubai, 6ix9ine told me this is 3 months before he got locked up. 6ix9ine says, yo, Ack. Yo, my driver is a federal cooperant, bro. Nigga, chills ran down my fucking spine. Because, number one, he was right. The driver was cooperating. How did 6ix9ine know 3 months before? I forgot how he said he knew. He said, oh, they found out that the feds, his driver wasn't a legal immigrant. The feds snatched up his family and said they were going to deport them if he didn't cooperate. And he said, I'll cooperate. 6ix9ine found out when he realized the dude was in some problems with immigration. And that's why he stopped working with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've never seen Wack put me on hold like this.
He on the other line calling Adam.
Yo, I can't believe this nigga Adam said, I'm going to talk about this on if I'm talking about this with a lawyer next to me. Yo, you know the greatest thing about No Jumper? They act like it's content over freedom. Like, I kind of like it. It's like, yeah, the feds might be trying to jam me up, but tune in on Wednesday. I'm going to get you the content. We got content. I'm like, yo, word? That's one thing I do love about No Jumper. Like, we never seen like, yo, hey, we can't talk about this right now. This is a legal situation. Like, I mean, you know me, I got a big mouth. When they sue me on some civil shit, you know me, I'll sit here and tell you for 4,000 days in a row every fucking details, even ones you don't want to know. But then when I didn't pay a fucking lawyer, and of course I'm going to do my explanation, but like at a point I can't talk no more. I can't really keep rehashing it. Not No Jumper. We got content. Joel Wright. Is that a female or a nigga? She says, "Chat Queen here. You looking good these days." You know, I lost a little bit of weight, girl. Y'all told me my birthday event.
This nigga act is crazy. All right, give it up for yourselves. All right, we had a good one. We had another one. Nothing like the other one. Until the next, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be real, and I'm gonna be here for you. It's your boy Cinco Bands, the man. You rocking with the most valuable podcast. Until the next one, y'all. You know what it is.